Okay, so we'll start with some quick introductions, who we are, where we're from, what we're doing. So I'm Alex Curtin-Griffiths, developer relations geek at Newton. I go out, I promote Newton to developers. Yeah.
Hi, I'm John Woodard. I'm CEO of Wolfram Blockchain Labs, a subsidiary of Wolfram Research. We focus on ecosystem development for public blockchains and permission blockchains.
I think you're supposed to keep that one.
Oh, right.
I'm Theodore Gray. I'm, among other things, the co-founder of Wolfram Research many years ago, and currently an advisor to the Newton project.
大家好，我下午来自牛顿，我这边主要是负责那个牛顿这个研发的这工作，然后呢，其实我也代表就是今天上午大家也看到了，就是在徐总口里面说的加班到眼花的团队，啊，非常感谢大家那个就是说对那个牛顿的支持，然后我们的那个工程师团队呢，就是到昨天晚上一直在加班，然后呢就是我们的甚至一个工程师甚至昨天晚上为了让我们的这个 slide 显示的更好，还临时就开始昨天晚上就开始编程写程序，然后让我们今天这个东西呢能顺利的进行。好，谢谢大家啊。
Okay. So for the first real question, what got you interested in blockchain in general and Newton in particular? Do you want to pass it?
Sure. So I think I can speak broadly about blockchain or distributed ledger technology in terms of interest. I think in general it has to do with a combination of both economic interest and activity, social movements and the ability to sort of help change communities. And then also just the technology is also quite interesting. I think in general when it comes to Wolfram Research and the subsidiary that I run, there are a number of things that we've done over the past 30 years that kind of lead us up to this point where we have this tremendous opportunity. There's significant amounts of technology that we've worked on, that we've thought about from a visionary aspect, and distributed ledger technology has the ability to make a lot of those things possible. So it's quite interesting from that perspective and certainly quite exciting. When it comes to Newton, I think as a project it seems like many of this sort of vision when it comes to being able to develop and sort of make things available for a broad array of communities to disrupt incumbent players when it comes to e-commerce and other areas seems quite exciting, and I'm interested in learning more.
So one thing people maybe don't realize is that blockchain technology is much older than Bitcoin or any of that stuff. I remember reading some of the original papers in the development of these sort of distributed hash chain ledgers in the 1990s, many years ago, and thinking, well, that's interesting. I wonder what you could do with that. And we actually thought about putting support for it into Mathematica for purposes completely unrelated to making money or creating currencies or anything like that. So, you know, I thought it was interesting just from a sort of an abstract technological point of view. It's a very clever idea, a non-obvious clever idea. And then I completely lost interest in it. I had no interest in Bitcoin or any of this the crypto whatever nonsense until I heard about the Newton project. Because the Newton project seemed like this is like an actual good reason why you might want to use this technology, and a team that actually seemed intent on doing something in the real world, running a real business that would be, be a better and more interesting business because of its use of blockchain technology. So it's actually not that, I didn't become interested in Newton because I was interested in cryptocurrencies and blockchain such. I became interested in cryptocurrencies, blockchains because of Newton.
关于牛顿的话呢，我觉得特别的地方呢，所以我作为工程师而言呢，就是有几点，就是说我们作为我们就是把牛顿，就是说其实牛顿有白皮书，我们要把牛顿的白皮书，要把我们的这个白皮书东西都实现。所以呢，就是说我对牛顿的话呢，就是说我觉得特别的地方是在于我们把这个就是把这个 区别于说传统的区块链项目而言呢，我们把这个人类节点这个作用，然后我们体现出来，通过我们的这个基础的这个技术和我们的这个超级交换协议，把我们的这个让更多的这个让这个经济的这个治理呢，其实不依赖于说这个像这个比特币啊，依赖于算力，还是依赖于就是说更多的这个人类节点的加入到这里面，让这个呢产生这个更大的一个价值。就像那个之前徐总所提到的，叫确定性带来繁荣，就是我们也是希望是说通过我们的技术的话呢，让牛顿呢就是成为一个就是影响世界的一个项目。
Nice. We've had the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, and now we've got the shoe uncertainty principle as well. So how do each of you use blockchain in your daily lives, if at all?
Does anybody actually use blockchain in their daily life unless they're trading bitcoins? I think that's one of the issues is that
Hey, we buy coffee with blockchain, right? Right, Xiaowu? With the new coffee machine in our office?
这是一个特别有趣的问题。在我的日常工作里面呢，其实我每天都在用在 blockchain 的技术。我在开发我们的钱包，然后我们的主链、我们的 DApp 其实都在使用 blockchain 的技术。然后呢，甚至在我们的日常沟通里面呢，我们也会在我们的 WeChat 群里面，我们有一个轮值群组。然后这个轮值群组的话呢，会根据那个每天所有人在这个群里面所说的话，然后作为所说的话，然后这些所说的话呢，其实就是我们认为就是说就像比特币一样，成为一个工作量证明。然后这样的话呢，我们会给所谓在这里面做出贡献的这些群里面做出贡献的人，或者说因为某些行为然后受到惩罚的人，有些人可以获得6的奖励，然后有些人呢也可以获得那个就是这个受到6的这个惩罚，然后呢这是非常有趣的一件事。
Very interesting indeed.
So I was going to say, like, of those two areas, personal, I'm sure many of the people in the room have cryptocurrency positions, although I check them a lot less now than I did previously. From a work standpoint, certainly the products that we're developing at Wolfram Blockchain Labs, certainly I touch those every day. But I think what Theo hit on, which is quite important, is that we need to make, and I think that the previous panel also hit on this, we need to make DLTs actually seamless for users that are out there, where they don't even need to know that a DLT is actually behind their favorite application. In fact, that's going to be one of the true tests for the maturity of the technology. Where we stop thinking about blockchain-based companies as like blockchain-based companies, but more of what that problem the company is trying to solve for individual users. So when it comes to Newton and that perspective, it's making e-commerce more available for both businesses that want to sort of cut out this middleman and also for users who want to reap the savings that might provide.
I think so. I like to think of an analogy. If you think of the internet, the World Wide Web that everyone uses every day, constantly, like half of you are on your phone right now using the internet. So that's based on the TCPIP protocol, right? That's the underlying protocol. How many people, if you go out and ask them, just find some random person in the public and ask them, how many times in your daily life do you use the TCPIP protocol? They'll say, I don't know, what is that? I've never heard of it, I don't use that. Blockchain technology, while they're on their phone, communicating through TCPIP. Blockchain is TCPIP, right? It is a low-level enabling technology. There is never going to be a time in the world where the great majority of people tell you that they use blockchain on a daily basis. That will never happen. They may be using it every day on a daily basis, but they won't know it. The question is, what are the applications built on top of blockchain that are analogous to World Wide Web and WeChat and whatever it all is that you guys are using on your phone? That's what people will think that they're using, and that's what companies like Newton need to develop if it is to be as successful as the unbelievably, fabulously successful TCPIP protocol that nobody cares about, has been.
Well, speaking of TCPIP, the whole net was built on top of that. And
there's protocols underneath, there's UDP under that
the rabbit hole goes deeper and deeper.
Yeah, it goes deeper. And then you've got the radio protocols. I mean, and then you've got stuff in the radio OSs that hardly anybody even knows exist. It's all these stacks. And, it's like supposing sometime in 1985, somebody had figured out a way to make a huge amount of money on the TCP/IP protocol, right? And everybody was talking about how fabulous TCP/IP is. That, but that would not have actually changed what the technology is. And it would, you still have to build the stuff on top if you want to make a technology that actually is going to be used by a whole lot of people. People may use it, but they won't know they're using it. And blockchain has exactly that same characteristic.
Right, exactly. Why should I care if your web server is running IIS or Apache if I'm getting the website I ask for?
Right, yes. And the fact of the matter is they will not care.
Exactly.
The great, public at large will not care. And if you develop a system in which they need to know that they're using blockchains, that is guaranteed failure, right? Right off the bat, not going to work.
Totally agreed on that one.
Yeah, just to add on that, they shouldn't care. I mean, people have problems out there and they count on folks like us in this room to provide and create solutions for them and create them in a seamless fashion where they can go on about their business without even thinking about it. Just like people, I think as you've said, Theo, are just on their phones and they view it as an extension. But the phones that people are using now really came to be in, 2007? And they were sort of laughed about in terms of smartphones. So I think that's kind of the idea over time, that we see these sorts of technologies and then they kind of fade to the background because they become so ubiquitous.
So when the internet was started, there was a lot of hope it would lead to a more democratic, a better future for humanity. And in many ways, and by many people, they see that hope as being dashed. A lot of the internet giants controlling huge swathes of user data, a lot of siloing. Do you see the blockchain and distributed technology getting around that and improving things, or are we just going to get burnt again?
I mean, I'm tempted to say, like, there's this great book that's kind of, I think, kind of taken in many ways, and I'm sure this sort of idea is repeated, but history is kind of like a boomerang. It keeps coming back. So DLTs may solve problems, but it's likely that some new problem that we don't foresee right now will come and take its place. So I think just as, like, we've seen communications over time, like with each wave of communication from the written word to now the internet to the social giants with Facebook, Twitter, and then also Google in terms of search, have presented their own sort of problems with the propagation of, like, fake news and other stuff that's kind of malicious. So there are always going to be problems that maybe the next generation of technologies will help to solve.
I guess my comment to that would be that there are no technological solutions to human nature. People are people. They will always behave the way that people behave. No technology will ever change that. The question is whether people recognize that and sort of take it into account in the design of new technologies. That's one reason why I've been an advocate of the Newton Foundation, trying to learn from the experience of people who know how lasting institutions are built. There are actually, for example, experts in the writing of constitutions. Every year there's a couple of countries that get invented and need to have a constitution. There are people who know how to do that. How do you write documents that maximize your chance of having a stable, long-lasting organization that will be responsive to people in such a way that it actually works in the long run? That sort of stuff tends to get ignored by technology people because they're busy with the technology. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why you end up with these technologies having great potential but kind of veering off course. I would, however, I don't think that we're worse off now than we were before the internet, in terms of access to information and freedom and such. Yeah, there's some problems, and maybe Facebook is kind of a little bit off the rails, but on the whole, you know, would you go back? I don't think so. I mean, I think that you know, the internet has been a huge improvement in many things. And I think, you know, blockchain technologies, that will be a huge improvement in a bunch of other things. And then there will be some big problems that need to be worked on and addressed, which we have absolutely no idea what those problems are now. Nobody knows.
我觉得这是一个就是大家其实挺关注的一个问题，就是在我们的就是现在我们的生活其实就是可以说那个没有隐私而言了，没有隐私可言了。OK， 其实呢就是从这个我个人的话呢是从在15年前接触那个自由开源软件，那个时候呢其实那个时候我们总是在提的是说我们的软件是需要自由的，软件呢是需要开放源代码，然后每个人呢需要有这个使用这个软件的，就是要有这个软件的源代码，所以才有这个软件的这个自由。所以呢，当时我们在15年前说这个事的时候，那个时候呢互联网还没有现在这么发达，所以说没有人意识到说我们人这个所谓的人的这个 freedom， 就是我们没有这个就是我们使用我们的软件的一个自由。所以当今天互联网越来越发达的时候，我们发现就是说我们越来越多的这个我们的数据，然后我们的个人隐私完全暴露在这个公共的这个情况下，所以呢，这个时候呢，其实在我们做牛顿这个项目之初的时候呢，我们其实就发自内心的想去解决这样的一些问题，所以呢，因此就是说我们在怎么解决，就是说怎么把这个控制权还给用户方面，其实我们是做了就是深度的思考，然后呢，也在很快呢会有对应的一些这个产品呢，就是可以推出，比如说我们设计我们的这个New ID 是一个那个数字身份的一个系统，然后这个系统里面呢，每个人都会有自己的这个数字身份，然后每个人就是任何 DApp 需要使用我的这个个人数据的时候呢，都需要进行授权，然后每一次授权都会在链上，所以呢，就是说这可以充分的保证我们每一个使用我们牛顿系统的这个协议，在这个生态里面的所有人，当你使用这些协议的时候呢，你都是安全的，你的个人数据都是安全的。
It's very good to hear, and actually that's a perfect example of the reason why I wanted to get involved with the Newton project, as opposed to, you know, any number of other ones. That, you know, unlike a lot of technology, you know, organizations, whatever you want to call it, she and the rest of the Newton team seem to actually think about these sorts of issues in a way that you don't often see technology people thinking about, and I like that.
Great, thanks. So we've touched mostly upon blockchain, but of course Newton isn't just about blockchain. We're about new IoT, new AI for machine learning, new net for distributed computing as well. How do you see each of these technologies making an impact in their own right, but also in conjunction with blockchain?
Well, I mean, you know, again, you've named one of the reasons that I think that the notion of secure physical transport layer implemented using some of the same techniques as well, we're back to the TCP protocol, you know, the secure transport layers for data. That's a brilliant analogy to make, and a clever idea as a way of, you know, trying to, you know, get physical goods from one place to another with a higher degree of certainty than is otherwise possible, which then allows you to, you know, lower, you know, fraud risks, lower insurance costs, lower transaction costs, all kinds of those sort of cascading benefits of this, you know, clever little IoT idea. I think there is a little bit of a danger of, like, that's a long list of, you know, I think that it's a good thing that we heard a lot about NewMall and NewPay, and not nearly as much about some of those other technologies, because I think that, you know, you got to start somewhere, and starting with a very concrete thing. We're going to have a payment app and a shopping center where people can buy stuff. That's great. Let's do that. You know, Jeff Bezos started selling books, he didn't start selling, he didn't start selling everything. He thought, well, I could sell books, and that's manageable. And then step by step, now he sells everything. Likewise, I think it's a good thing for Newton to start with focus, this thing we can do. And then it's nice to have upside. Then beyond that, there's more different interesting technologies and different areas now to spread out into agricultural trading, commodities trading. Another great idea, let's do that second or something. And then, all these other things. They're very good upside ideas that demonstrate, having thought through some of the really interesting and normally unexplored potential of blockchain technologies. But let's do them all first and get that to work.
So, okay.
这就是关于那个，其实 Alex 特别讲到，就是关于那个牛顿，大家其实看我们的白皮书里面会提到，就是牛顿的那个关于基础技术，我们的那个 New IoT、New AI、New Net 和 New Chain。然后呢，这些东西呢，其实我经常听很多朋友在说牛顿其实这几个每一个东西都可以独立成一个项目在运作了。然后呢，我们为什么要把就是这个几个项目，然后就是要做这么一个 great， 就像Gray先生所说的，这是一个 great 的一个 idea。为什么要把这个东西 integration 要把它做就是一起做成一个很有意义的一个事儿呢？其实我们是觉得我们的考虑呢，其实是说，如果说一个区块链项目要真正去落地的话呢，其实是需要这个基础性的这个基础设施，比如说这个我们 New IoT 相当于我们的硬件 hardware， 然后New Net 呢相当于我们的基础设施，相当于说我们的这个计算和存储资源，然后 New AI 呢是人工智能，比如说这个电商的这种分析这些东西呢是需要这种基础性的这个支持的。其次呢，就是我们的 New Chain， 我们 New Chain 可以把支持这个主链和子链的的结构，然后可以存储无限量、存储海量的这个各种各样的这个交易的关于交易有关的这个交易信息。所以呢，这些东西呢 together 把它 together 加在一起的话呢，形成了牛顿的这个基础的这个技术。同时呢，就是说。我们会提供一个类似一个超级交换协议，这个协议呢，相当于是你可以理解为就是说，超级交换协议相当类似于就是在互联网上的 HTTP， 我们通过 HTTP 协议呢，把所有的东西连接在一起，然后做成一个可以让我们的参与牛顿这个生态的这个所有的这个项目，或者使用牛顿技术的项目，他们都可以不需要别的这个支持，都可以。在上面运行我们的 business. Okay.
Thanks, guys. I think that's pretty much all we've got time for now. So I'd just like to say thanks again to you all.
Well, thanks to you.
Well, all right. Thanks, everyone.